How much debt do you have? Would you like to be debt-free, or at least pay off all of your bad debt? In the quest to accomplish this feat, there are two major strategies that are often recommended, and a third that is my personal favorite. The debt avalanche, the debt snowball, and a spicy plan that we'll get to later. Which is best for you is mostly based on how logical, emotional, or disciplined you are, respectively. The first method is the debt avalanche. In the debt avalanche, you look at all of your debt and you pay off the one with the highest interest rate. Without going through a lengthy series of examples, this one mathematically works out to cost you the least money in interest. If you have a 20% credit card bill, an 8% car loan, and a 3% mortgage, then for a debt avalanche approach, you would start with the credit card. But the catch here is that your highest interest debt might take the longest to pay off, depending on their remaining balance. So this method is best for logical people. If it takes you 1.5 years to pay off one piece of debt, you might feel discouraged because you can't see your progress defined in a milestone. If that's you, and it's okay if it is, then that means you are emotional and should use the second method, the debt snowball. To apply the debt snowball, you would instead pay down the lowest debt that you have. So, regardless of the interest rate, if your car loan is $10,000, your student loans are $70,000, and your mortgage is $200,000, then you would start with the car loan and save the mortgage for last. This way, you hit your first big milestone of becoming debt-free sooner, and that personal satisfaction can help you stay committed to becoming debt-free. The third and final strategy, and the one I use for myself, I call nuclear detonation. In this case, I am saving and investing a good chunk of my paycheck every month. Click the link above for investing videos. So when I see that my total cash on hand exceeds one of my debts and still has money left over, I will kill it all at once. Mathematically, this is less optimal, but that's assuming the money that you don't use to pay off debt is just sitting there in a big pile, or that you're blowing it on something, as humans are apt to do. That's why I call this the disciplined option. You must be able and willing to save and invest large chunks of money that you would otherwise put towards paying off debt. This is risky, and the risk varies by how much debt you have, how high the interest rates are, and what investments you are purchasing. So while you may get rich faster this way, you might also become debt-free slower than either of the logical debt avalanche and emotional debt snowball options. The choice is yours. In any case, I strongly recommend that you save up an emergency fund first, just to get $1,000. Then worry about getting up to 6 months of either minimum expenses, typical spending, or typical income. Since the stock market will generally get 7% or better, and real estate generally gets a leveraged 4% on appreciation alone, I personally wouldn't recommend paying down debt that is 5% interest or lower, and to instead pay the minimum and invest the difference after your emergency fund. This also allows you to keep more cash on hand for both emergencies and opportunities, both of which will be created by this massive recession the US is having. Both the debt avalanche and debt snowball assume that once one debt is paid off, you will then add all of the dollars you would normally commit to the first debt to also paying off the second debt. Which of these three strategies do you favor, and why? No matter your approach, the most important thing is that you stick to it. And if you're having trouble making more than the minimum payment to pay down your debt, then click the link above for different savings techniques that could benefit you. It's one of my most popular videos. There are also links in the description that will give you free stocks once you fund the account $100. I will be making examples of how each of these strategies can play out in the future, probably comparing the avalanche and snowball to each other and then demonstrating example scenarios that can go well or poorly in the case of nuclear detonation. If you'd like to see those, then subscribe and hit the notification bell so YouTube tells you when they come out. If you think your friends would benefit from seeing this, share it with them and hit the like button so that strangers find this video as well. You only have one life to live. Grow it relentlessly.